everybody. This is Nick with Recycled Idaho. I'm sitting here with Brett. It's Monday, day after the Super Bowl, and we wanted to kind of sit down here and talk about the market. How you doing, Brett?
Doing good, man. Monday after the Super Bowl, just trying to get the crusty out of the eyes and get things moving for the day.
Yeah, I think earlier you said it's kind of like the day after Christmas. Everyone's a little bit tired today.
Yeah, you can definitely see it, but we got stuff that needs to get done. I almost needs to get done, but stuff that needs to get done, and we're going to see what happens today.
So last week we bought a good amount of copper, Brett, and what did copper do on Monday last week?
Copper last Monday was a bloodbath. I think we lost 17, 18 cents, somewhere in there. And then throughout the week, we lost a few more cents on a daily basis, so it was pretty rough week for copper last week.
Yeah, as you can see today, it's sitting around 52, 53 cents. And I mean, shoot, like not that long ago, 2 weeks ago, we were at, 283. So those are pretty big swings in our world, but all we can really do is adjust. You've been doing this a lot longer than me, Brett, and that's why I'm excited to start doing this some of these Mondays so I can start learning a little bit more. Why do you think all these different markets, aluminum, copper, nickel, and iron, which we'll get to, are all on their going down?
I don't know. I think I'm not a guru or anything like that. I think the biggest thing is we had the unexpected virus thing in China that's really kicked off a lot of that's kicked off the news cycle, and that's kind of driving everybody to be a lot more cautious, a lot more nervous. Obviously, this is a election year, and it seems like every time we have an election year, things can get really volatile. So combine those two things and everything that's going on in the news, weak export market, you're going to have some pretty big swings. China's a big consumer of copper, the largest in the world. So if there's issues in China, you're going to definitely see it in the copper market.
And you brought up the export market. How does that affect, say we have a real strong domestic market, but the export market is down for ferrous. Does that affect the pricing?
Yeah. I mean, I've said this a fair amount of times over the years, but I mean, to have a strong ferrous market, it's kind of like having a good auction. You need at least two people in the room that want that item. If you have only one person, they're going to buy it cheap. And right now, the main buyer is the domestic steel mills. They seem to be running pretty hard. I was reading something on the AMM. They're running at 81, 82%. So they're definitely, the demand is there for them. But with export market dragging along so hard, that just doesn't help us scrap recyclers. It only puts one person at the auction, and one person at the auction, you all know, doesn't drive the price. You need two.
Yeah, you need two people after the same item, so that totally makes sense to me. I think you mentioned earlier that aluminum's at was it a 3-year low?
3-year low, brushing along that 3-year low for aluminum. I think the 2016 pricing, it's kind of been bouncing around that mid-high 70s into the low 80s lately. But you see, if you look at that chart, it's definitely came off along with copper. It's also driven a lot by China. So the domestic demand, I think, is still there, but there's a lot of material in the market.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when aluminum was just so much better, and it's just been down in the dumps for a while. So hopefully we see some relief on that.
The recycling centers feel that, your local recycling center guys that buy aluminum cans and your 6063 extrusions from your window guys and stuff like, guys like that, they really feel that, because the price of new aluminum hasn't came off that much, but this price of scrap has definitely came off.
Yeah. So we also have lead up here, which you'll find a lot of lead in our car batteries and then your clean lead. And that's really been pretty stagnant, pretty normal. Don't you agree?
Yeah, the export market came off a little bit on lead, so that's brought your price of your batteries. It's down a cent or two, but it's bounced back up the last few days. So we'll see.
And last, at least on our charts, is nickel, which we see here. And nickel will really affect your stainless pricing. And that, as you can see on the chart, has been down quite a bit in the last 30 days.
Yeah. Yeah, stainless obviously has driven your stainless pricing. We over here in our area, we see for the most part 304, 316 stainless. We don't see a bunch of other alloys. Mostly just your food grade stuff. So the nickel pricing affects stainless price, not big swings like you would on your high temps, but it definitely pushes that market around for us.
And I think we've covered most of them. I'm hoping next week we can give people a little bit more positive news. And have anything to add, Brett?
Ferrous pricing, we're looking at a down month. Hopefully it's not off significantly, but it feels like we're going to take some down money in February. Hopefully it's less than more, but we'll see. Time will tell. We should know this week, which direction that's going to go and how far it's going to go down. So that's all I have.
Okay, well, when we know the ferrous pricing, we'll update everybody on that as well. Thanks, Brett.
Thank you, sir.